Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Magic Matters podcast. My name is Deni Sunderly.
And I'm Erica Resnick.
We are so glad that you're here. We hope that you pour a favorite beverage, maybe grab a favorite snack, and settle in, because we have on this very special episode of Magic Matters podcast, we are going to be answering your questions. So I'm super excited about that. Very
I'm
cool.
excited to do all that. Before we get super started on that, I do want to give a huge shout out to our producer, Lightstrong Media, who came in today bearing gifts.
Bearing gifts in a shark head. In a shark head.
Because
Hold,
we don't
please.
have any wrapping paper or anything like that.
I love this. I'm intrigued.
So we're just going to go ahead and put our hands into the shark head. And then pull it out.
I'm scared.
Are we grabbing? Oh, you grabbed two.
What? We have hats!
Stop, how cute
Oh, Lightstrong, you are too fabulous. Oh my gosh, we are the cutest.
She has one too.
Oh, she has one. Thank you.
How cute.
Thank you so much. I'm going to adjust the back because we gotta come correct here with the hat. I love, how exciting. Thank you.
So cute.
You know what? You are our first little magic maker, aren't you?
Yeah.
You are fabulous.
And while we rave about this,
yes.
If you want to follow along with everything we do here at Magic Matters, just make sure to go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Magic Matters Pod.
Yeah.
That is where we put up the little Q&A thing.
So
if you ever want to, participate in a Q&A, you're going to want to follow us on Instagram, because that's where we post a little Q&A box and we take the questions from there so that we can do a Q&A video like
Tuck
this.
the hair back here. What do you think? Yeah?
Cute.
Good?
We love.
Okay. Whoops.
I don't think I've ever seen Deni in a hat.
Oh, I love hats.
You look so cute.
Thank you.
I
don't wear them as often as I used to, but Magic Matters.
I love.
So we're wearing the hat. I love it so much. Okay. We absolutely have some really great questions here, and Erica has compiled them.
Yes.
We have an official paper, and
yes.
I love it for us.
We're adults now in this household. We have a printer.
Welcome. Welcome to adulthood. Okay, first set of questions. We're just going to dive right in. Dive right in. So
With the sharks.
With the sharks and the shark head. Good gravy. I love it. Okay, so what do we have first, Erica?
So our friend Brian, he went ahead and submitted 3 questions for us.
Okay, Brian Trex, let's go.
They're all very great questions here. The first question, what makes this podcast unique from others besides both of your amazing talents? Thank you,
Brian Trex. That is so kind. You're so sweet. What makes this different? I think what makes this different is that we are unapologetic fans.
Yes.
And we love getting to be in the parks. They are our happy place.
Yes.
And this podcast is going to be a safe space to be a fan. Not saying that we will not tell the truth when the truth needs to be told. We will absolutely say what we need to say if we have thoughts and feedback and things that need to be improved. But I think this is just going to be a fun, warm, safe space to be a fan.
That's what I was going to say. I think our goal is to create this comfy corner of the internet where Disney fans can come together and share things that they love, maybe that they dislike, or things that they wish could improve. And, even beyond that, like, with love we have for other theme parks. Last night you were at Universal. I love Universal. And I just think this needs to be a nice, comfortable place for people who like theme parks, who love theme parks, but want a place where they can feel comfortable. Yeah. And that's why I try my best to make our space feel inviting and like cozy, because I want you to watch and also feel cozy. So I think that's a big part of this too, is just feeling very comfortable and cozy. Because when I'm with Deni, I always feel like happy and I feel a lightness.
100%.
You make me cozy. So
Likewise.
That's what I really want from this, is a nice, safe space for us and for the people watching.
Amen. I love that. I love that. Ooh, what kind of segments and content should we expect from this pod? I think something that we did on episode 2, I really like that you started us off with, let's touch base.
Yeah.
Let's see how we're doing. What's something that stood out to you this week or resonated with you? I think that was really nice. And I think that's something that we could do ongoing. Like, we want to check in, like, and just see what's meaningful and impactful. Because if something is meaningful and impactful to us, whether it be something in the Disney parks or just something in everyday life, we know that it will connect with some of you out there. And so if we can encourage you through how we've been encouraged, I think that's a really good thing.
And because I think it's important to remember that we're also friends, and we're people, and we have human experiences. And if, we check in on each other, on coffee dates, on text messages, but it's also important to show the humanness together in this space as well, because like you said, anything that we say could help someone else. So I love that, and I think that's the segment going forward that will be seen. Also with if we ask our audience questions, which we try to end every episode with a question, we are going to take the time to read that comment section, and we're going to start off each episode really just picking little pieces that we saw in the comment sections that resonated with us or that caught our attention, because not only do we want to have a connection with each other here on this couch, we want to connect with you as well and bring you in to this space, even if it's just virtually or if you're listening. We want to bring you in the space with us. So that's another segment you'll see on here, is us talking about what comments you've left us regarding the questions we ask.
Yeah, because y'all are a part of this conversation, that's for sure. We can't have this conversation without you. That's 100% sure. Okay, tell us about the decision on the name of the pod. Magic Matters.
So I started a notes page, I want to say 3 months ago, probably, where I was thinking of different names. I knew I wanted magic in the name, and we played with so many different variations, and we landed on Magic Matters. And it really, I think for me, it stuck out because I'm like, you know what? Magic does matter. It matters in your life. Whatever little piece of magic you can create for yourself in your everyday life, that matters.
Absolutely.
The magic you feel walking into a theme park, like for me, when I was younger and I was going through a lot of stuff. Sorry, I have a hair in my face.
No, you're fine.
And I went through a season of high school where I was just so sad. And I would go to Disney, and that made me feel like I mattered every time I walked into the parks. So for me, Magic Matters means that. Like, it really resonated when those two words got put together in our little notes page, because it just really stood out to me, because it does. Magic really does matter.
It does. And I think it has a dual meaning as well, like, that we can dig into. But I would agree with that. I think sometimes the thought that, oh, you're a Disney fan, oh, you're so into the parks, it can kind of be looked down upon. And so it's just a reminder that, no, wait a second, this stuff is important. Like, and everybody can have their own thing, and it's all okay.
Yeah.
We're not going to sit here and trash on somebody else because something matters to them. Around here, in this space, magic matters. It is walking into the Magic Kingdom and being blown away by the castle, or stopping before you have to head to the airport to get on your flight to go home and turning and looking at the castle one last time. Or running to your favorite attraction because you have, it's time to leave the park and you've got just enough time to ride Rock and Roller Coaster one more time, or something, whatever your favorite is. Like, all of those things matter. Every moment spent in your favorite theme park matters. Here's the other meaning. We're going to talk about matters. We're going to talk about the things that are going on in magic, in the Magic Kingdom, in Epcot, in Hollywood Studios, in all of the parks. So these are the matters
of the magic.
Of the magic, exactly. It's very official. But yes, magic matters. So if you are a Disney fan that feels like, oh, I've got to be like an undercover Disney fan, You don't have to be undercover here. No, we're letting it out.
Yes. Let's move on to the lovely Steve Porter dropped in.
Stephen Porter.
He dropped in and left us 2 questions.
Love
and
that.
These could create some stir in the comment
Steve,
section.
wait a second. Steve loves to do this. Steve does this intentionally. He loves to be spicy, okay? Just to stir up a good conversation. So let's just see what Steve would have us discuss.
He gave us 2 questions, and they both are a keep 2, demolish 1. Okay, so the first one, right? The first question that he gave us of a keep 2, demolish 1 was pirates, haunted mansion, and people mover. And I know that my answer is going to create so many problems.
Oh no!
But I'm ready to defend myself.
Okay, you lay it on us.
The 2 that I'm keeping are pirates and people mover. And sorry, haunted mansion. I'm sorry. You've got to go. Just on paper, you can stay at the Magic Kingdom. But if it were up to me, those are the 2 that I would keep. But that's because the Haunted Mansion has never been one of my favorite attractions. I've been a scaredy cat my whole life. So it was
not your thing.
It's just never really been my thing. But now I see myself riding it more often than not. But it's still not I don't walk into Magic Kingdom and go, I have to ride Haunted Mansion. Which I know a lot of people do feel that way. Yeah. But for me, that ride is Pirates. Pirates is like my childhood nostalgic favorite ride, and I never get sick of it. Never.
This is another example of our friendship because I was going to the exact same place that you did. And it breaks my heart because I really do enjoy Haunted Mansion. I like it for its historical nature as well. I love everything. I mean, Pepper's Ghost, what's not to love about that ballroom scene? There's so much amazing, delightful things on that ride when I'm on it. But if I had to choose between People Mover and Pirates, Pirates is number 1 for me in the Magic Kingdom. So you don't come for Pirates. And so, and I adore the People Mover.
I do, me too. I've always loved the People Mover because both of my parents have connections to old Tomorrowland, like back in the day when they used to come together. They loved the original Carousel of Progress with Now Is the Time, that song. Yep. And it plays on the People Mover. And so it was like an attraction we had to do every single time we went to the park. And I fell in love with it. And there was one time where I came with my college friends, and nobody was in line for People Mover. They just let us keep going.
Oh my gosh.
We started singing like the Cheetah Girls on there. There was no one on there with us, so we had like a little party on the People Mover, and I was like, I love this attraction so much.
That's so cool. I love it. Yeah, no, it can't go. Sorry, Haunted Mansion.
The other one we have here is now the resort version of this, and it is the Polynesian Resort, Grand Floridian, or the Contemporary. And this is hard.
Keep 2, demolish 1.
Yeah.
Poly.
I know I'm keeping the Poly.
Or Contemporary. I have it like that.
Tell me.
The Grand's going.
Okay.
It's out the window. Bye-bye, goodbye, goodbye. I adore the Grand. I'm there often enough because I love the Grand Floridian Cafe. So I do. And you can get a reservation there. But it is not my aesthetic. For me, it just feels way, way stuffy. And yes, I like 1900 Park Fare. I like to eat at the Grand. I like to walk into it and be ready for a lovely evening, But staying there, I'd love to stay there, but it feels very, very stuffy. Yeah. The Poly is approachable. The Contemporary, I don't think there's anything more iconic than gliding through that A-frame hotel on the monorail.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I'm the little girl again who's going, oh my gosh, we're going through the building. We're in the building. That kind of thing. And getting to stay there was 100% magic. Watching the boats start to move on Bay Lake early in the morning. Ooh, yeah. No.
I think I'm thinking too hard because I'm like, well, if you get rid of the Grand, does that mean no more Gingerbread House?
It does. It means, but there's a Gingerbread House over at the Contemporary too, or a gingerbread display. So you can get your treats.
Okay.
You can.
Because I've always loved 1900 Park Fair. I like visiting the Grand. I've never stayed there. But I have had wonderful times working at the Contemporary, so I'm like, I don't want to get rid of my friends' like jobs. So
wow, you're going deep with
I know.
I wasn't quite so deep as to consider employment of my friends.
I want to keep the Polynesian. But between the Grand and Contemporary, it's really hard.
Yeah.
But because the Contemporary is really cool with the monorail, I think I'm going to have to keep her because, like, the Contemporary is iconic in that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Grand, I'm sorry. You just need to be a little cooler.
Yeah. I know that I have friends who love the Grand. It's their favorite. And that is incredible. For me, I just don't know that I mean, if we got to get rid of one, she's going.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve, for putting us in such dire straits.
In the morning.
Exactly. All right, we have one here from Shelly, it looks like.
Yep.
Favorite place for you to visit together, and is it food, rides, or snacks?
I have two answers for this.
Okay.
Because outside of Disney, we love going to XO Coffee.
Yes.
It is what this room is, but
not
in a
sponsored,
whole coffee shop.
But we would love that XO.
Yes.
If you
we love that now within the past, like, what has it almost been a year?
Yeah.
That she has had the tattoo shop there.
Yep.
It's like now we get coffee and then we watch people get tattooed.
That's right.
And people watch hardcore there. It's fun for us.
Yeah.
And I think at Disney we do the same thing. We people watch, we grab. This is what brings us together. It's always coffee.
It is. It's always coffee.
We started a tradition. God, it wasn't last year, the year before, where we went to Festival of Arts.
Farts, yeah.
And
Farts.
we grabbed coffee. We walked around. We did our paint by number. And now Epcot is definitely the place that brings us together with coffee in hand.
Yeah.
And then we just have fun.
And can I say, just hearkening back to what we said with at the top of the show about magic mattering, for me, that one visit that we made to Festival of the Arts, that very first time, it was before I had started my channel. It was you had your channel because you've had it for years.
Yeah.
But we were just there to hang out and to reconnect and to walk. I was incredibly down during that point in life, and having that time with you made me feel so good. Just reconnecting with you in the park at that time and being in our favorite park and just remembering who we are in that moment was so fulfilling. So I remember the feeling of leaving that day just feeling like a part of me was reconnected again.
Yes.
Just having been with you. So thank you for that. And I'm sure we've all had moments like that in the Disney parks where we get home again and we go, and we're with friends or family. But that, us, coffee, and Epcot is what I really think of. Of course, yes, XO sitting there, because we can sit there for hours.
Oh.
Just ask our producer, okay? As she sits there just taking in, the glorious manifestation of our friendship as we gab for hours, okay?
And the conversation changes like 5 times, and then we get back to where we started of the first conversation. It's the best.
It's just the way it is. But you, me, coffee in Epcot that's a perfect day.
Yeah. No, it really is.
Yeah.
It is.
In fact, when I was getting my coffee at Epcot the other day without you, I was like,
Right, isn't it weird? Because the last time we did a coffee at Epcot was we waited too long to get coffee. We were filming the Flower and Garden. Sorry, I call it Festival of Flowers.
Yes, Festival of
Flowers.
Flowers.
But we were recording for Flower and Garden, and we waited so long to get our coffee. We were so delirious.
We made it all the way around the World Showcase and had coffee way too late in the day.
Yeah, we definitely needed coffee
That
earlier.
was crazy town. That was crazy
It was.
town. Oh my gosh. All right, so Samantha says, so excited for your new show. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you. What inspired you both to come together for a new channel?
I think we really missed working together because like we are, as you can tell, we're wonderful friends. We catch up at least once a month, sometimes twice. Throughout the week we'll send like, oh, I just thought about you messages, like, how are you doing, kind of stuff. But we never got the chance to work together for a long period of time. And I think that's something we really wanted to do together, was work together and create magic together.
Yeah.
Whether it was on Instagram or on Deni's channel or her hopping to my channel, we always wanted to create together. And it was just time for us to work together in this kind of setting. And it was just time. We met at EXO a few weeks ago, and we were like, it's time to start.
And you really had the vision from the word go, Erica. You wanted a podcast. And I was like, okay, let's do that. Like, but just being together is so much fun. And I think this is a philosophy I'm trying my best to live by, that the table is big enough for everyone. Right? There's a seat at the table for everyone. So even if it seems like an arena is saturated, like there's so many Disney podcasts out there, there's always room for another. There's always room at the table for you and for me. And so when Erica said, let's do a podcast, it's like, yeah, I mean, why not? Will it be everyone's bag? It might not be, but nothing is. And so if we are yours, we thank you, and pull up a chair because there's a seat for you as well. So that just that thought was an absolute, like, of course, let's go for it, let's try it. And really, it's the response has been just overwhelming to both of us. We're just so grateful.
Yeah, and there's no one else I wanted to do this with, because it was after a time we were hanging out and we talked about so many different things, and I was like, we should just do some of this in front of a camera about the thing that we love. And I was like, it has to be me and Deni. Like, there's nothing else. I wouldn't do it with anybody else, because I trust you so much and I love you so much. So I was like,
likewise.
This is what I need to do, and it really does like feed my soul in such a nice way. So it's everything I could have imagined.
Likewise. Yay! I love that.
Yeah. And then the next question from Melinda, which fits into the one before, was, how did you two become such great friends, and how did you come up with doing a podcast? Which we just answered, how we came up together with the podcast.
Yep.
But our journey actually goes back to around 2020. When I was doing social media for the Diz. I was doing it was a time where people weren't going into the parks, and I was like, hi, I'm willing to double mask and do whatever I need to do to get back into Walt Disney World. And they were like, perfect. And so I started helping out in that way. And I had contact with you, and then you became my editor when I started writing.
So I was the person in charge of editing all contributor articles, and so that was one of my roles. Every day was to sit and edit for a bit, and you were one of the amazing contributors, and you just rose to the top. You were willing to do whatever it took, just to help share the magic with others. And so you had a different job than you currently have, and you went to your happy place on your lunch break. So you channeled Disney on your lunch break by sitting there and writing articles. And so, and it got to the point where we could depend on you. We asked Erica to cover some breaking news situations if we weren't able to be there right away.
I'll never forget the first time you called, like, hey, Foodie Guide just dropped, we need someone to do it. And I said, I got you.
Gotcha.
And
she did.
I walked to my desk at work, and I was...
Excuse me, I have a mission to complete, and I accept.
I'm busy now.
No, and it was so much fun getting to know you and getting to learn who you are. And when you are a writer, you have to trust who is editing your articles, your work. It's no small task. It is like somebody, it's like it's somebody who you have to really know is going to do things with a care and a concern. And so we just got to be friends. And so that's how that happened. Yeah, we were forged from fire. I feel like, of covering Disney parks. Because listen, Disney, the way that things go with covering the Disney parks, like Disney will put something out, like announce something, and sometimes you get the heads up that something's going to drop. And sometimes you don't. Most of the times you don't. And so you got to stop everything and try to get the information out there. And it can be very, very intense and a little nutty. So, so glad that we became friends during all that.
It really was just amazing to start that friendship. And then April asked a question we answered in the episode we recorded not too long ago, a few minutes ago. Where's the best parade spot for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party?
Woo! Do you want to tell yours? Because I've got one.
Last year we watched it from the hub area facing Liberty Square. So the parade's coming straight at you. It's a perfect view of the parade there. So that was a new spot for me. I'd never watched it from there before, and I really enjoyed that spot. And I told myself, if I ever went back to another party at Magic Kingdom, I'm standing there.
Yeah, that was
a good spot.
I would agree. That was a good spot because then as the parade route proceeds, it goes to the right and then you've got a beautiful shot of them right in front of the castle. So that was really neat to kind of see them in, with the castle as their big backdrop, their background. So I would agree with that. I like that. I have two spots. Frontierland is generally going to be less crowded for literally any parade that you're watching in the Magic Kingdom. So if you're like, okay, the hub has no shade and it's a hot afternoon or it's a muggy evening and I don't want to be in the middle of the Magic Kingdom hub in a Halloween costume, where can I go? Go down to Frontierland. You can go all the way to the Frontierland gate where the parade comes onto the stage, comes from backstage to on stage. That's a great spot.
That's where I watch Festival of Fantasy. So I agree with you. It's a really good spot.
Okay. Then the second spot is going to be up at, you're going to have to get there early because it's going to be taken up by others. But it's right at the top of Main Street, so not totally in front of the train station, like on the other side of where the bench with Roy and Minnie is.
Where Christmas tree would typically be.
Christmas tree, right there under the branches of the Christmas tree. So picture that for the Halloween party.
Yeah.
Because everyone is coming straight on at you, and you've got the castle behind them if you're taking video or pictures, and then they'll turn this way and you've got the confectionery there. It's just the lights, everything's really, really
The first time when Festival of Fantasy came back from the pandemic, we stood there and watched it.
Yes, we did.
That was a really good one.
You had some tears in your eyes that day.
I cried a lot. It was really great to see a parade again.
Oh, amen.
It was.
That was magic.
It was.
And it mattered.
Yeah, it did. That was a day.
Woo!
Yeah. And then we got a really great last question here from Travis. What is one ride or show you missed the most from Disney World? And that's a loaded question.
That is. I have snippets of memories. when you're a kid and you've got like snapshots almost of memories. Our first stop, first visit at Epcot was like that because I was a kid. I was 10. I was in sixth grade.
That sounds right.
So I remember snippets like being on World of Motion, which is what Test Track was before it was Test Track. Amazing. I loved I love that attraction, and thankfully you can still see like a grainy ride through video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like Horizons, fantastic. Please bring Horizons back, Disney, please. That would be amazing. I enjoyed, oh gosh, what is it? It's in Magic Kingdom in Tomorrowland. It was Dreamflight. Dreamflight, and then the Eastern Airlines iteration of that attraction.
Okay.
I loved that. I totally remember snippets of being on the ride vehicle and seeing the cliff divers diving, and just the song. I can get that in my head. If you had wings, thank you. There it is. It popped in my head. So those some of those classic attractions, I would love those back. What about you?
Same thing. I have these snippets, and one of them is of the Hunchback of Notre Dame show at Hollywood Studios. That is throwback, long time ago.
Yes.
But it is something that my dad recorded a lot, so we have it on VHS, and I always have like little memories of that. Yeah. Same thing with Food Rocks at Epcot. I loved that show.
Absolutely.
As a kid. And, Soarin's great.
Yes.
Love it. But I loved that. And I don't know if you remember, this is such like a niche memory, but outside of that area, there was like a Nestle Toll House situation where you could bake chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the kids could make cookies.
I loved that so much. Like, I'll never forget.
Yep.
I'll never forget that. And as much as I had fear at some points in the Great Movie Ride, did not like the alien section. But I did love like seeing Mary Poppins and like just all like the Wizard of Oz. I love Wicked, so I love Wizard of Oz. And that section, I loved it. And I loved the ending of that ride. So there are times where I really, really miss that attraction. I have like the closing day shirt and everything.
Oh.
Same thing with Ellen's Energy ride. I have the closing day shirt. But Great Movie Ride is something that I go, I miss that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this new, Mickey's
good.
Runaway is cute.
It is.
But putting that there made Hollywood Studios feel less Hollywood Studios that I grew up with.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, no, I remember standing there on the last night, kind of being there, and everybody was meeting up. I've got the shirt too, like, Great Movie Ride was so good.
Yeah.
I didn't have that kind of connection with Ellen's as much, although I did go, and I think it was, I don't know, it might have been the last day it was open, and pay homage and got lots of pictures of the tile wall with all the rainbow stripes and everything.
It was our family must do because my dad, he needed like a nap time situation, and so that was we're gonna sit down and he's gonna close his eyes, and I loved like all the animatronics and the attraction, so. It always cracked me up too, like Stupid Judy, like that just, it made me laugh as a kid, so I loved it so much. My one other thing. Yeah. Listen, Flight of Passage, so cool. I miss Camp Minnie and Mickey so much. The Pocahontas show they had was phenomenal, and like that is something else like from my childhood that I'm like, I wish I wish there was a way to have both Pandora and Camp Minnie and Mickey.
I agree.
Because I loved it.
Pocahontas and her forest friends. I loved that show, and that was our youngest's favorite princess. So Andy's favorite princess was Pocahontas, and I remember sitting there in the show, and it was just fascinating because all the little real live trained animals would run out. The turkey got away. During our show, Turkey went out into the audience, and so that was a moment to be had by all. But the Wranglers came out and got the little critter, and off he went backstage.
Do you remember the paper leaves at the end that would come out?
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's what started confetti at concerts.
I would agree because all the kids scooped up those little paper leaves. I know Andy had a bunch of little paper leaves, but that was getting and those character trails that they had back there.
Oh, I loved them.
So good.
They brought back Goofy's bird watching outfit from there. He wears
they
it
really?
now in Animal Kingdom.
Oh.
So for a while he had like his I think like his fishing outfit situation.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got his bird watching one from back then right now.
I love that.
I don't know if they're still doing it. They had it for the summer. So
I love that. And meeting Pocahontas just isn't the same.
Yeah.
Not back in. I
Yeah.
mean, it's great. Anytime you can meet Pocahontas is a great thing. But back there was perfect, really.
I loved it. It was such a good spot. But those are the things I think of often that I miss.
Yeah.
That was a great last question.
Oh,
there.
it was perfect.
It got me in that nostalgia.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much.
Yeah.
You know what? Thank you so much for watching today. If you have any additional questions, let us know down in the comments. And here's what we want you to try to help us out here. We want you to answer the same questions that we just answered. Do that in the comments section. Let us know. Steve Porter and his spicy questions. I mean, tell us, which two you would keep and which one you would just go ahead and get rid of, out of the poly, the grand, the contemporary. Would you get rid of a Haunted Mansion like Erica and I both did? My hubby wouldn't. It's like his favorite attraction in the park. But you let us know down in the comments because we'll read them and we want to laugh and dream along with you. So if you'd like to, you can follow along with us on our own channels and on our own socials. You'll find me at Deni_Sunderly on both YouTube and Instagram. Where can people find you?
And for me, it's Healthy Dose of Disney on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, anything that you use. You'll find Healthy Dose of Disney, and it's just a fun time. We hang out.
I love that.
Chill place.
I love that. Hey, if you liked this video, if you learned anything at all and found value in it, please consider giving it a like. Also, please subscribe to the channel. We are a new channel and we are trying to make our way in the world. So if you could definitely hit subscribe and also that notification bell, you'll receive the heads up every time we put up a new episode. Okay? So, and don't forget, follow us on Instagram at Magic Matters Pod. Thank you so much for watching.
And remember,
Magic matters.